Hola, buenos dias. Muy buenos dias, continuous liners. It's Megan with my beef jerky from La Cañada de la Virgen in San Miguel de Allende. I have to eat my beef jerky, my vegetables, and my beef jerky before I eat my coffee. I'm here at a cafe in Condesa, Villador Cafe, the Flyers Cafe. And it's right here in the heart of Condesa, right here on the Parque. Condesa used to be a big racetrack before the Mexican Revolution, and so this whole street is a big oval, right? And in the center is the Parque. And so I always get lost because it's a big oval. And I don't get lost, but it's hard to know which way to go because it's this big circle. I'm here on the circle. I'm on the horse track. I'm on the Hippodromo. Having a little beef jerky here at a beautiful little cute street side cafe. Look at that. Isn't that adorable? I've drawn this. It's a beautiful Art Deco building. You can see the awning. Lots of Art Deco details. Yeah. So out here on this, I think it's Friday, right? Yeah, it's Friday. I try to set this up so I have some coverage over my phone, so my phone isn't just hanging out there in the wind. Somebody said to me, "You got to be careful with all these live streams you out there on the streets of Mexico City." And I'm like, "Oh, I tie it down to the chair." They steal the chair. I mean, that kind of stuff happens everywhere, right? Not just Mexico City. Your phones get stolen, right? So I'm here, going to do some line warm-up. Hi, everyone. Hello, Brian. Hello, Jeanette. I'm doing some line warm-ups here before my fundamentals class, which is going strong and is super, super, super cool. I can just see the difference in everyone's line confidence, line quality, line participation, right? Because we do a lot of exercises to help people just follow through with their lines, just follow through. Keep it going. Don't abandon your lines. Abandoning your lines is like abandoning your heart, right? It's like a story you want to tell. You want to draw something. Oh, I want to draw this cute little doggy over here. And the cute little girl walking him, right? It's very popular here in Condesa. You start drawing it, you go, oh, I don't know how to draw. I can't draw a person. Well, I'm just going to abandon it, right? But your heart was really intent on drawing this cute little scene that was right before you, right? So strengthen your lines, build your line confidence, and you will not abandon your heart. You will stay true to your heart, and you will continue to draw the things you want to draw, right? So I'm here at that's the Hola Cafe. It looks like they got graffitied a little bit. Hola Tacos. One of the more popular street taco joints here in Condesa. Beautiful place to come have lunch, just sit out in the street, Coke out of a glass bottle. Mexican Coke, you know. And then this cafe, and unfortunately right here is the Walmart, which took over the Mexican grocery store. These little Walmarts are popping up everywhere, right? So that's my grocery store now, Walmart. Boo! Anyways, let's do some line warm-ups. Chewing on my beef jerky like a cow chews its cud. Let me swallow that a little bit. Okay, I'm going to do some line exercises here in Condesa. What am I going to do today? I'm going to do a rainbow. So, I know I kind of have a no politics rule in my classes, right? It just keeps things, we just stay focused, right? But obviously there was some big news last night, and yes, it's about time. Yes, my God. And but I was thinking about the realities of it, because we've been down this road with this jerk before. You know, it only gets louder. It only gets more chaotic. And the thing about this individual is, like, he's not ever going to go quietly, right? Ever, in anything he does. And so he's really going to just try to take us all down with him. I mean, honestly, that's you know, he's not going down without a fight, right? And all his little minions are going to put up a fight too. So, I mean, things could get even more chaotic. Could even get, I mean, he's called for violence before. Will that happen? I don't know. Maybe, right? But one thing we do know, I mean, already the talking heads on the media are just like having a field day. They love this whole Trump drama, right? They just love it because it's... Anyways, so I think once again we have to like prepare ourselves to really take good care and protect, because the drama, the chaos is only going to get louder and probably way more obnoxious, right? And you know, who knows, it could get violent too, right? That wouldn't be unheard of. And the fact that he's going to be allowed to get access to do that sort of stuff again, and that people will actually vote for him, I mean, what kind of world are we living in, right? So it's really important to like stay, do what you can to get grounded, to get centered, right? Because it's going to be, I mean, it's already triggering for me, this whole thing of like the whole lock her up thing. And, you know, I was never a big fan of Hillary. I didn't dislike her, but I wasn't like, yeah, I'm going to wear pantsuits, right? But his whole hate campaign against women and her, lock her up, and still, they're still chanting that, right? To lock her up. And just, you know, she was seen, I'm not even getting into the details of what she did or didn't do, but just generally speaking, he just went after her because she was a woman. And the whole lock her up thing. And then ironically, he made laws to make it, to punish her, which now he hopefully will be punished by the laws that he made to go after her, right? So, you know, that sort of thing of like just how absolutely unjust and what a hate monger he was towards women just infuriated me, just literally gave me a stomach ache, right? Like, I remember those debates with them and the way he spoke to her, and everyone laughed, and I just wanted to reach to the TV and punch him, right? And, you know, so all that kind of noise is going to get all riled up again because he's being charged with things that he was trying to blame her for, right? So there's going to be, already Hillary is everywhere, right? Images of her, she's laughing and having coffee and laughing with Obama. I mean, I get it, right? There's a whole sense of like, let's celebrate this, right? Finally, some accountability. But you know, with this guy, it's like, it's never going to go that way, right? So I'm like, I was thinking about this morning, I'm going to have to do a lot to, you know, even I'm in Mexico City, and it's just as loud here. It's just, I mean, it's what you follow, right? I'm an American, I follow American news, right? Even though I live outside of the country. All these people who say, that's it, I'm leaving, I'm moving to Canada, I'm moving to blah, 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 to get away from what happened in America. It's the news out of America is loud. Loud. And it's also quite stressful too, right? Because not only the politics, my God, the fires, the smoke, right? That's very stressful, right? And then there's people on the news saying, oh, don't worry, you don't have to wear a mask, you don't have to do anything, this is not harmful. Well, since when is like smoke in the air not harmful, right? So I talked to my friends in New York. They were laying on the floor with fans trying to breathe. All right, so there's going to be, we're going into the summer of chaos, right? Because then there's also the American politics, right? Which those are always stressful no matter what, because it's just never-ending pounding. I'm waiting for my coffee, and now I'm like anxious for it. I think it's coming now. Oh, there it is. Beautiful. Gracias. Gracias. All right, let me have my first sip of coffee. Maybe that'll take the edge off, right? It's right filled to the brim. Look at this. It's one wing. Isn't that beautiful? One wing. Hey, Brian, if you're still there. You may not be there. But I'm getting ready to come to Chicago. I'm going to be at your Chicago Urban Sketchers event there in July. downtown Chicago. You know, I saw that NASCAR is in Chicago, and I was like, oh God, please tell me it's not the weekend I'm going to be there. Thank God it isn't. I think NASCAR is happening right now or something like that. But I can't believe NASCAR in downtown Chicago. I mean, come on, what is that all about? But yeah, I'm going to be going to Chicago in July. I'm going to be doing my class from Chicago, so I'm so excited about that. Hopefully I won't get shot. Ha! I say that sort of tongue-in-cheek because my friends in Chicago say, oh my God, are you safe down there in Mexico City? And I'm like, no one's shooting at me here. There's not like blatant gunfire here, right? I don't say that. I mean, maybe that sounds a little callous, right? Because it's quite sad, the gun violence that's happening a lot of places, right? But America certainly does take our breath away with the gun violence, right? Anyways, I am going to Chicago, and I'm going to go to the Chicago Urban Sketchers thing. And then I'm going to make my way out to Crystal Lake, which is where I grew up. And then I'm going to make my way out to Lake Geneva, Wisconsin, which is where my mother's buried. So I'll go pay my respects and go do some Wisconsin things. And yeah, I'm excited. I haven't been to Chicago in a long time. So I don't know. I feel like, once again, our society is on the cusp of a huge transition, right? Because, you know, you look at what's happening in the United States, there's no going back, right? There's no going back to how a once shiny nation that we like to think of ourselves as, right? Now we now have a former president who has committed some large crimes, and so we're now that country that has that president who did all those things, right? And that'll be like the large talking point for a long time, right? Sad, very sad, right? But not surprising given the way things have gone the past few years, right? And my God, how he even got let in is beyond me. And the fact that he may even get back in there is like, so do what you can to take care of yourself, right? Stay close to your art practice. Stay close to your hobbies, your physical hobbies. I just was out on a bike ride, beautiful bike ride. Stopped at little tienda I discovered a few days ago, little organic tienda, so I can get my veggies midweek. Right now, there's only one place I knew where I could get my organic veggies on Sundays, and Sundays are kind of big, right? Like I want to go out and do the big bike ride, right? So I have a new organic shop. I also sold them some meat because I sell meat now. I'm back selling it. Well, I sold them the idea of it, and now I just have to follow up. But they want to carry the meat from the Cañada, which is my other job. I do marketing for the Cañada de la Virgen, the organic cattle ranch in San Miguel de Allende. Hence the beef jerky. Beef jerky and coffee. Yeah. So I had a contest on Instagram, and I gave away some of my classes. So, recordings of my classes. So, if you follow me on Instagram, in my stories, I'm doing little giveaways. Instagram, that's another place, man. They just can't stop messing with everything. Trying to, get educated on some of their marketing things there. And they're so starry-eyed over TikTok. They just can't stop changing themselves, right? And then I just feel like I watched that video last week of the guy from Instagram, how he denied that he's blocking access and keep making it harder for people to connect with their audience. I don't believe that for 1 minute, because it's not like just me that's having that problem. It's everyone I know. They just say engagement is down, right? And, a lot of us are putting good effort into making reels because they want us to do reels. and then you get like 12 likes. Now, the thing I will notice is like, it used to be like one day you would get the likes and then nobody would ever see it, right? I have noticed that there seems to be some lingering activity, right? Like, I did a painting last week of Tlaloc, the big Aztec god, which, by the way, I'm doing more of. I did jaguars all week. It's not the weekend. Yesterday, I did 3 large, big paintings, so I'm going to be showing those soon. Because I'm doing live painting performances, and my live painting performances are continuous line, big drawings. I noticed that it's getting some lingering follow-up action, right? So there's that. Marketing. Marketing. It's a never-ending chore, like a lot of things, and most people hate you. Most people hate marketers. Like, God, leave me alone, right? I get it. But the challenge is to try to do it in a way where you don't anger or annoy people and you keep them interested, right? I'm doing the marketing for the farm, and that's kind of interesting because, you know, unless you're vegan, everyone loves to see cows. I used to be Megan the vegan, and then I went all the way to the other side and learned how to be a cattle rancher, and I turned my ex-husband's cattle ranch into a grass-fed beef operation. And I'm still in the meat business now from that. I'm trained as a butcher because I wanted to learn what we put the cows through, right? So my ex-husband had issues with me getting the attention on his farm, right? Because I was starting to get I was being interviewed and I was getting orders and it was becoming quite popular, right? I made not the cover, but I was in Modern Farmer magazine, me and my cows. Megan Burns, cattle rancher. And, you know, I'm just a clean meat cattle advocate at this point. And so that's why when the Cañada, who I went to work with after my ex-husband couldn't stand me getting the attention, the Cañada hired me, and I worked with them for a few years. But then through the pandemic, things kind of, you know, shifted. And I put all my focus on my online classes, art classes, and they got some other marketing help, right? That made sense at the time. I moved to Mexico City. Well, anyways, they just came back to me a month ago, whatever, and said, would you be interested in doing doing online remote marketing from Mexico City? And I was like, yeah, absolutely. Because, you know, if you're from a farm, if you grew up on a farm, my grandparents had a farm in Huntley, Illinois, dairy farm. We left there when I was young, but I don't know. I feel like if you're from the Midwest, there's always, you're always going to have, like, if you're from the Midwest, you're an immigrant whose grandparents came to America from probably somewhere in Europe, right? So, you know, there's a long calling, a long affinity with farming, right? For everyone. I mean, God, that's what everyone had to do if they wanted to eat, unless they were noble. And how many people are noble, huh? So farming is probably a big part of all of our ancestry, right? And so the farm has always called me back, and the farm has called me back now. And I feel very proud to be connected to this ranch in San Miguel de Allende, who's really focused on so many amazing sustainable projects, right? Agave projects. They're doing so many things to reforest the land, vitalize the soil. Without soil, we got nothing. Water. Without water, we got nothing, right? The whole world is running out of water, right? So these are big, big, big environmental issues, right? So I'm living here in the city, and so I'm thrilled to be connected with the farm again, so I can stay in touch with, like, and help get the message out of what things are being done on this farm in particular to help save the world, right? I mean, no one thing is going to save the world. It's got to be all of us doing whatever we can do, right? And while I'm not interested in being a butcher anymore or being out there working the cattle, I love visiting the cattle. But my life has taken a different direction in that I'm an artist now, and I teach art, and I'm an urban sketcher, and I like to go out and do that, and I have workshops, and I don't know what the fate of that is going to be. But now I'm a performance artist, and now I'm a marketing advocate, an advocate for healthy meat, sustainable farming, healthy soils, regenerative agriculture, right? So it's kind of exciting because these are all the things I love. These are absolutely all the things I love, farming and art. And I'm combining them into my world. So it's how I spend my days, right? If anything, if you look out and you see everything that's happening with the fires and it's just all these things that are in crisis, right? Hola. If you're not doing the thing you love, get to it. Get to it. Get to it, man. Hop to it right now, because nothing is guaranteed. Tomorrow is not guaranteed, right? Carolyn Mace, another Chicagoan. I remember hearing something. I actually met her. She lives in Oak Park. I was walking my dog, and she was walking her dog. We were like, "Hey, nice dog." But I remember her saying, "None of us are guaranteed to not live through a nuclear disaster, right?" Something like that. But really what she was saying is we've been a very privileged couple of generations, even though there's been catastrophes for sure, that generally speaking, we've lived a pretty safe life, right? Now, that's relative. There's the gun thing, and there's all kinds, there's the food, there's heart attacks, there's this, the pharmaceuticals, right? So it's a little, but generally speaking, we haven't had like a bomb dropped on us, right? Not yet. And what her thing was saying was there's no guarantees that you won't have that, right? And so I'm at this place where working with art, making art, helping others make art is super important to me. So I have found a way to make that be my thing. Art. And I've working on the farm has always been a big part of who I am. I've always had this thing with cows. I know there's other people who have cow things, right? You're just driving and you see the cows, you wave. I've always been like that, right? And then when after my mother passed, I had to go sit with cows. It was like I didn't even have a choice. I hopped fences in Lake Geneva, which is illegal, by the way, to get close to cows, and I could have been killed, right? But I had this thing where I just had to get, and I didn't want to touch them or anything like that, but I was just breathing with them. And then I got back together with my ex-husband, who has 2 cattle ranches in Austin, outside of Austin, and in outside of San Miguel de Allende, right? And so we were talking, and I said, "Hey, why don't we do some grass-fed beef?" And he's like, "I don't have time for that." And I had just been fired for the 800th time in Chicago. And I said, "Well, I have time." And he says, "Little women from Chicago don't know anything about making meat." And I'm like, "Well, I do. And I will." And so I just threw myself into learning everything I could about the industry. Right now, cattle ranchers, farmers that have been doing it their whole life. I don't mean any disrespect. I just can come in and be a farmer and look at me. They put me in a magazine. I know everything. I am not that arrogant to think that I can just be a farmer because I woke up one day and said I'm going to be a farmer. But I did have a few things aligned in my life where I was recently divorced, but still with my ex-husband, who happened to have 2 cattle ranches that were just hobby cattle ranches. I mean, that doesn't really happen, right? Hobby cattle ranch. Texans like to stand out there and go, "Look at my beautiful cows," right? They like to see their cows. I was married to a Texan. And they like to admire their cows. Now, many of them like to work their cows, but my particular spouse didn't work them. And so I proposed working them. And yeah, we worked them. We turned it into a grass-fed beef operation, right? So I'm still involved in the meat industry, and I've found a way to do it where now I'm in Mexico City, and I'm just doing it remotely, right? And And I'll be heading back out there in July. After I get home from Chicago, I'm going to go back out to the farm and have a meet party, a meet and greet. I'm going to invite everyone over to learn about what we're doing there on the farm. So anyways, and I'll be drawing everything, right? So I think it's just a beautiful thing. So I finished my lines, my sacred geometry, right? So I guess what my sermon today is, do what you can to do the things you love before you don't have time, right? I mean, none of us knows how much time we have, and so just do the thing that you want to do. Let me grab my one-winged cup here. Isn't that pretty? Get out there and do the thing you want to do. Start. If you're very far from it, like you want to be an artist and you're just starting to draw, practice every day. Find time. Make it a priority. Make it a people say, oh my God, how do you draw every day? I could never. It's a priority. It's just something in my life that is a priority. And I mean, believe me, I have the voices in the head from my mother, like, oh, well, look at you. How nice to be able to draw. Well, look who's drawing today. How nice. You must have everything done that you can just sit around and make art now, right? And believe me, that's always right there. My mom's like, she wanted to make art all the time too, but she couldn't. She chose a life that was much harder for her, right? I don't have kids. I don't have a mortgage. I don't have huge debt. I don't have the usual trappings of that people often do at this age, right? So I don't have a spouse. I don't even have dogs. My God, I couldn't be any freer. Which it comes with its own set of challenges, right? But I really love the life that I have, and I'm making myself available to new projects, right? I don't know if I'm going to go back to workshops, but I would like to. I love teaching in-person workshops. And so, but right now I'm making big arts. I'm making big continuous line art. I'm going to continue to urban sketch. The Mexico City Urban Sketchers are getting together this weekend. I may go see them. And I do a lot of bike riding, whatever. Okay, everyone, have a nice weekend. I'm going to ride my bike home and get ready for my fundamentals, continuous line fundamentals. If you follow me on Instagram, you could possibly win all the recordings so you can... have a good day. Have a great weekend. I'll see you back here next time. Bye. Oh, wait, did I show you my thing? I can't even remember. Did I show you? There, Rainbow Connection, 4 quadruple hearts, some beef jerky, and a beautiful latte in a one-winged cup. Salud. Take care, find your passion, do your thing, make your art. Talk to you later. Bye.